Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Thursday, the 14th of August, 2025. We'll have a look to begin with, as always, at the synoptic picture. We can see midnight last night. We had much of what was left over from yesterday. I think there's some sort of feature, was a small trough that went through, bringing some fairly poor weather yesterday, certainly not as forecast. But overnight we had this low centered up sort of towards Inverness at the moment, and a bit of an occlusion off to the southwestern tip of the UK, with some troughs in the sort of Midlands, East Anglia area. By midday today, that uh, low has moved a bit further round now, centered more or less over Aberdeen, and has stemming down from it a fairly weak cold front. And that should be passing at some point throughout today, but staying well to the north of our area of interest. We've also now got a high centre just in the channel there, near Cherbourg, and that should hopefully be pushing a bit of or holding that front and low pressure off, giving us some reasonably nice weather today. Going forwards the next few days, see high pressure continuing to dominate, particularly into the weekend and possibly even into Monday as well. So outlook for the next few days is reasonably nice with quite high temperatures, but it has been fairly unpredictable at the moment. So we'll see if anything changes on that front. Looking now at the sat pics for today, you can see a lot of cloud off to the west, but clear to the north of here. And it's starting to break up. We've had a fair bit of low cloud this morning, but there are plenty of blue holes appearing now. The base is still fairly low, I would estimate, probably around 12 to 1500 feet, if that. But it is breaking up, it's no longer solid. We just hope that none of this stuff off to the west causes us any problems in terms of top cover, and that it continues to break up as it appears to be doing at the moment. Rain radar. See a bit of showery activity in Wales and the southwest of England there, and that is tracking towards us. However, they look fairly light, and I would imagine they'll probably dissipate by the time they get here. If anything, we might get one or two brief showers at some stage, like we did yesterday, but I don't think anything that's going to be of concern to us. But we can have a look at the Met Office forecast for rain, and we can see as of 8:50, they had observed much the same as the other radar saw there, with the showers over in Wales and the southwest. We run this prediction through. You see, it does show it tracking to the east and bound from the west. However, there is a fair bit of south to the wind today, so that should all be clearing north of Lasham and the associated area, and remaining dry throughout the evening and into tomorrow. Odium Taff then, so showing 220 degrees southwesterly at 6 knots today. Initially 8,000 meter vis, missed a few at 700 feet. I think we saw that for the first thing this morning. But temporarily between 7 and 10 local, it was forecast 5,000 meters of visibility, broken cloud at 700 feet. There's a prob 30 between 7 and 8 of scattered at 500, and a prob 30 between 10 and 12 of scattered at 2,000. So not particularly optimistic prediction there, but I think scattered at 2,000 is more realistic. Visibility should be better than 5,000 meters, and I would imagine that cloud base is going to continue to rise throughout the morning. Farnborough, on the other hand, they're showing 2307 knots, visibility 9,000 meters, and few clouds at 3,500 feet, becoming between 7 and 9, 10 kilometers or greater than 10 kilometers, and there's a prop 40 of broken at 800, but that was between 7 and 9 this morning. So that's a little bit more realistic, I think, with few at 3,000 to 3,500 feet, possibly get even slightly higher than that. um, later on. Looking at the spot winds on the Met Office here to the south of us, 260, 10 knots, and that's more or less all the way up. And to the north, 220, 15. So we can expect, I think, something closer to that northerly route out there, a southwesterly about 15 to 20 knots at soaring height. On the ground, moderate southwesterly breeze across the airfield there. We'll be operating runway 27 with that in mind. It should remain moderate, but I don't expect it to be particularly gusty or difficult to handle. And we can look at the local Met Office forecast for the wind speed. We can see between 7 and 8 knots all throughout today, gusting maybe 17 or 18 at times. So that should be more than manageable for us. Fairly high humidity to begin with, reducing but remaining around the 50% mark, and a moderately high UV of 6. So do take care. Let's bring around the soaring hats, please. The GFS, they're giving us a temperature prediction of 27 degrees. Bearing in mind they did predict 30 yesterday, but I suppose they took into account the top cover that we saw sort of solidly all throughout the day. So it very much depends on what the cloud does. Hopefully we will see some slightly warmer temperatures today and some good soaring conditions. GFS also agreeing with the dew point of around 30. So that was the view outside at 8:45 this morning. That's on the south side looking west towards 2XL. We refresh that now. See, it's actually filled in a little bit, but some defined bases there and some blue poking through. So hopefully as the air dries out, we'll get a little bit more manageable the situation there in terms of the cloud and some more surface heating so we can raise the cloud base. And on the point of temperature, we're now up to 18.9 with a dew point of 15.6. Concerning thing here, though, is the overnight low appears to have been very high, so we're going to need the temperature to rise quite significantly to get a good day out of it. Okay, so looking at SkySat now, as usual, the left-hand side of the screen is an excerpt from the potential flight distance, showing a reasonable area locally to Lasham and southwest, but out to the west and north, reducing in our performance. Certainly, based on yesterday's prediction, this morning the models have rerun, and it's a slightly different picture. But locally to us, we've got the point forecast showing a fair bit of low cloud all throughout today. So SkySat maybe not thinking it's going to open up as much as we'd like. Although saying that, they are predicting four not almost 5 knot thermals to 4,500, 5,000 feet above the airfield. Possibly a bit of top cover on this chart as well around lunchtime, so we'll monitor that. Thermal top winds there, southwesterly or west southwesterly, between 15 and 20 knots, which is much in agreement with the 214 from the Met Office. So looking at top meteo for the cloud prediction or cloud distribution, I should say, starting at 9 o'clock local. And we can see quite a lot of that lower level cloud, and that's more or less in agreement with what the sat pic shows, that clear air out to the northeast of us. We run this through hour by hour and see the lower level stuff starts to break up, with cumulus becoming fairly spread out in the local area, with some auto Q to the north and west. By early to mid-afternoon, still remaining some cumulus and soarable, but possibly some showers later on as well. And then blowing out by about 5 o'clock. And in theory, the top cover and low-level cloud from the channel holding off to leave a nice, pleasantly blue evening with some low cloud again overnight into tomorrow. NOTAMs then, not a huge amount to talk about, but at 25, we've got Delta 132, that's the ash ranges. Over at 28 there, just north of the ranges there, the danger area. That's some paragliding out of devices. Now, in this sort of cluster here with 35, 36, we have RAF Benson, and it's their family's day today. So they'll have an air display there, and that's from surface to 3,800 feet. And that no time is valid from 12 o'clock local until 1600 local. And that's surface to 3,800. Within that time period, we've also got parachute jumping at Benson, and that's from surface to 7,600 feet. And that's from 12, beg pardon, 1325 to 1425 local. Within that period as well, there'll be a BBMF fly past, but that will be covered by the general air display no time, and that's from 1309 to 1339 local. We also go over to the west at 34 if anyone gets up in that area. Temporary danger area, as has been the case for the last couple of weeks, for some drone testing in the 7, and that's from surface to 1,400 feet. Looking at the local side of the brief now, we've got 2 K21s for booked instruction, 2 on the 5-day courses, and there is 1 allocated to casual list, although I believe we still only have 4 serviceable, waiting on 1 coming out of the workshop. So we may have to do a little bit of working around there using a K13 to cover the casual list. There's also a K13 for trial lessons and limited single-seater availability. When I last checked, there were 5 on the casual list with 2 instructors covering today, so that is very much appreciated. Thank you for helping out. And the simulator is available as normal. Reminder again about the Aboyne expedition. Had a look yesterday. We've still got plenty of space on week 3 and a couple of spaces on week 2. So if you've not committed yet, but you have been thinking about it, there is still an opportunity for you to come along. It's a great trip. There's lots to do in the local area, and the flying, as you can see from the top picture there, can be quite excellent. Got no movements today at this time. And in summary, we have high pressure centre in the channel and a low towards Aberdeen. A weak cold front passing to the north of our area and a southwesterly flow with some cumulus today. We'll be operating runway 27 with cables on the south side grass, and any grid will be on runway 27 at north grass. Please ensure you're ready when the cable or tug arrives. And I would encourage you today maybe to take winch launches. We've got a fair wind down the strip and some slight fuel problems at the moment, so we can minimize the use on the tugs. If you're happy to winch launch, that would be very much appreciated. As always, do not land or taxi across the disused runways shown in red. And there is our airfield set up with the winch on the south sides, air towing from the hard runway, and any grid on the north side grass. That's all from me this morning. We'll see you outside very shortly, I hope. Have a good day and keep it safe. Thank you.